Hello everyone and welcome back to PhD on Productivity. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how much I earn as a PhD student and how I budget that income. I just wanted to start off this video by saying thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed. It really means a lot to me because one of the things that I want to do as part of my PhD is get better at scientific communication, and one of the ways I'm doing that is by starting this YouTube channel and describing how my experience is doing a PhD and my research and everything like that. So the fact that so many of you guys have subscribed has really meant a lot. So if you are new here, please do subscribe. I'm doing lots of videos about doing a PhD, so if you want to hear more about that, you should hit the notification bell so that you know when new videos are uploaded. So let's get into the income part of the video. So just to say that I do my PhD in Dublin in Ireland, so everything is going to be in euros. But just to keep that in mind, if you are in the States or the UK, that you'll have to change it a bit. Like, they're not that far off, but just to keep that in mind. I will be looking down because I have my budget here in front of me. Basically, my scholarship is a tax-free stipend of €1,540 per month. Like, not exactly, it's like a euro difference, but it basically is 18,500 per year tax-free, and that's pretty standard in Ireland, and that's kind of what you'll get if you are funded for your scholarship for your PhD. That is what you'll get, pretty much between 16 and around 19,000 euros. I don't really know what it is in other countries, but that's the way it is here. In terms of funding, mine is funded by a research body outside of my university, and because my PhD is in computer science, it's quite common for there to be a lot of funding available, and it's definitely more difficult for you to get funding if you are in like a less scientific PhD, which sucks because it's still really interesting research that other people are doing. There's just not as much funding available, which is a real shame. So if you're thinking about doing a PhD, just do keep in mind that how much money you get, or if you're able to get any funding, will depend on what kind of research that you're involved with. As well, generally, when you have to apply for it yourself, it's more difficult compared to if there are projects available for you to work on that you can choose, then there might be funding already available for that project. So it also covers my fees. So otherwise, fee per year would be about, I think, 7,000 euros per year for the PhD. And again, that's pretty typical here, but I know that in the States it's way more expensive, and then in other places it's a lot cheaper. So it just depends on where you're living. Just to mention, first of all, that for me, it definitely would not be possible to live off that income. And I know a lot of people do, but I just personally couldn't, because I am trying to like spend my money according to like a sensible way to dole out your money. So if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey, he's sort of like a finance guru, and he recommends putting between 20 and 35% of your money to your housing. So you shouldn't spend above 35% of your income on housing. And if you live in Dublin, you will know that it's very, very expensive to live here. So there's a big housing crisis, and like rents going up and up, and it's very, very difficult to get affordable rent in Dublin. So if you were born and grew up in Dublin like I did, you don't move out of your parents' house until you're very financially stable, and most people go straight from living in their parents' house to buying a mortgage for another house. Like, there's not a lot of people in Dublin living in apartments. It's just not really a done thing. Now, I do want to live in an apartment, but I will not be doing that until I am financially secure enough to do that. So this year I'm paying off my debt for my master's, and then once I have that and an emergency fund set up as well, then I'll be secure enough to move out. As Dave Ramsey said, between 20 and 35%. If I was just earning that €1,540 per month, I would be looking to spend between €300 and €540 per month on rent, which if you're trying to live in an apartment with your own room, that's not happening in Dublin. I don't know anybody who spends less than €600 a month. Even then, like most of the places, you don't get your own room with that. It's like sharing a room. So it's just not really plausible at the moment. So I would need to get my income up to like a steady 2,500 per month so that I could afford somewhere more like 700 or 800 per month, and that's what a lot of people I know are paying, and I'm not going to be spending like half of my income on rent. It's just doesn't make any sense, because you also want to be saving money as well for your future. So also I should mention that what comes with your scholarship can depend on your university and what you're doing. So my scholarship also came with €2,000 towards a laptop and a monitor and everything like that. It also covers costs to travel for conferences. So again, going to conferences is a big part of doing a PhD, so it's good to have that covered because you don't have to spend your own money traveling or for hotels and everything like that. So just to keep that in mind, that when you're choosing a PhD, you want to see like what is available for you and what kind of funding you're going to have, including whether you're going to have funding for conferences as well. Okay, so back to the income. As I said, my scholarship is $1,540 per month. Then I also earn some extra money in my university. There's a few different ways that you can do that. So the main way for me is to do like TAing or demonstrations. So because again, computer science is my PhD topic, we have labs in our university where the students in undergrad or master's level are doing different computer problems and they might need some assistance. So there's about 8 to 10 demonstrators in the class that go around the room and help with any questions, and then there's a main TA who, if you have a really big problem, you would go to. So they get paid more, and then for us demonstrators it's about €16.50 to €19 per hour. So that's like a good way to earn extra money. So this month I earned €240 doing that. So it just depends on the time of year as well. The problem with that, it's not consistent. You don't always have the same number of hours. Like if you sign up for a specific class, then you'll have whatever number of hours for the next whatever weeks, but then in the summer or during breaks you don't have that income, so it's kind of hard to rely on that. And as well, similar things that you could do invigilation for exams so that you earn extra money doing that. And then other things that are involved in your university, if there is any side projects you can work on, you might be able to get paid more to do some research in your spare time on different projects. And there might be some competitions as well. So if there's competitions for either research or startups like entrepreneurship, or any kind of competitions that you have, maybe like a hackathon if you're doing computer science like me, then you could possibly earn extra money doing that. But again, that money is not really guaranteed, so that's something to keep in mind as well. But I can usually look to take in between 200 and 500 extra per month in different university activities, but mostly through teaching activities. And then lastly, I also earned money this month through a side hustle. So for me, that is doing drama teaching on one evening and one weekend day per week. And for that I earned €720 this month, which gets my total income up to $2,500 per month, which I spoke about being a target that I would like to have, because that would allow me to live somewhere decent and not be spending all of my money on rent. But the issue is that currently working 6 days a week is not very sustainable, so I'm pretty much just doing this to be able to pay off my debt, and then after that I don't really want to be working any time over the weekend, because doing a PhD is a lot of brain work and you need a ton of rest. And I'm having a video coming up soon about why you need to rest during a PhD, so if you don't know that, you should definitely watch that when it comes out. So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you know when it's up. So that's how I'm paying off my debt, is through my side hustle. Again, if you want to see a video about different side hustles you could do as a PhD student, let me know in the comments below and I will do something like that. Or how to get set up doing a side hustle as well. That might be something that you're interested to know about if you feel that your scholarship or your funding in general just isn't enough. But again, there is a drawback to doing work outside of your university, and that's that it is very tiring. So just to keep that in mind as well, if you're considering doing any extra work, it's not necessarily worth it. That's it for my income, and now I'm going to explain how I spend that money. So I budget using my like A5 bullet journals. So I have my budget brain dump on one side, which is basically where I plan out everything. So I have incomes, you can see I have my scholarship money, demonstration hours and side hustle, and then I plan out how I'm going to spend everything. So I'm trying to sort of get used to a substantial amount of my money coming out of my account for rent. Basically 35% of my income is going to bills and debt. So about 720, which is my side hustle money, goes directly to paying off my debt. And then I also have some bills. So I have my phone bill, I have TubeBuddy, which I use for YouTube, I have Audible, and I have iCloud storage and Audible credits as well. And there's probably a few more bills in there that I've left out, so I have some spare money there as well. And then I have my sinking funds. So I've got 600 going to a Belfast trip, which is actually this month, so it's kind of not a sinking fund but just a fund. And then I have 500 going into my savings. So that's going into my emergency fund, which if you don't know what that is, it's from like James Ramsey's idea that you should have emergency money saved up in case anything happens that you weren't planning for. Your current money can't cover it and you need to use your emergency fund. So if there is something where scholarship didn't go through for any reason or something like that, then I'd have spare money just in case of any. 500 is going into my emergency fund, and then my total in my emergency fund is 1,000, which is like the first step in Dave Ramsey's thing, is just to get that up to 1,000. And then I have 125 going for birthdays, making it a total of 325. And then just down here I have a plan because this month I've got my dad's birthday, my brother's birthday, and it's Mother's Day, so I need to spend some of that. And then the rest will be going for my boyfriend's birthday, which is next month. Then I have a meager 400 left for spending, which is 100 per week, and I can do sort of like 25 for myself, 25 to hang out with friends, and 50 to hang out with my boyfriend for dates and stuff like that. And that just sort of fluctuates, especially at the moment we still have some construction going on with our kitchen, so I've been spending a lot on food, so I'm way over already for the month. So I actually have week 1 is 200, week 2 is 0 because I'll be in Belfast, and then 3 and 4 each at 100. But I'm really hoping I'll be able to do this because I have definitely done this. So if you want to see how much I spend in a week, let me know in the comments below, and I will do one of those what I spend in a week as a PhD student, which I think could be a bit eye-opening for me because I have been budgeting for a while but with actually not really tracking whether I'm sticking to that budget. So I definitely feel like that might be something I need to do in future. But at the moment, instead of paying rent at home, what I do is I do all of our meal planning, meal prepping, and all of the cooking and the cleanup that goes along with that. And that's sort of how I pay my dues at home. I'll probably be contributing as well if I'm here once my debt is paid off. The plan is to get my emergency fund up to at least 5,000 euros before I move out, because I do think it's handy to have at least a couple months rent and living expenses in case anything happens where I couldn't work for whatever reason. I don't know, just in case anything were to happen that you weren't prepared for, it's good to have that money. And then after that I'll be able to build up my proper like long-term and short-term savings. So that's it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up because it really helps me out, and I will see you guys in the next video.